What's up, vinyl community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live as always from the man cave. Figured I'd come at you guys with some recent finds, some recent grabs, recent vinyl new arrival that was kind of making a lot of noise on the jazz vinyl scene. That's probably popped up on almost every Instagram profile and Facebook page and everything like that, and for good reason, because it's a major one that I have not heard yet. So looking forward to that. Other than that, I believe it's all going to be a bunch of originals. Yeah, including a couple Grail type deals at the very end, as I usually like to mix in for you guys before I get started. Shooting this video here tonight on a Saturday night, Sunday morning type deal. Cheers. Hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. Sure, I'm not the only one digging through stacks of vinyl and listening to records until wee small hours. But get started. First of all, let's go ahead and load up with that new release that everybody seems to be talking so much about, and for good reason again, because it's the GOAT and it's newly discovered GOAT material. Well, not newly discovered so much, but newly released. It's a Love Supreme live in Seattle, John Coltrane, and phenomenal timing on the 60th anniversary of Impulse. Wonderful stuff, 2 LP. As you can see, this one's still in the plastic. Mine usually stays in the plastic. You guys know how much I hate sealed records and hate shrink wrap, but my MO has been, especially for the new releases, to keep it that way until I get ready to spin it. So for the time being, it'll remain a mystery to me until I get ready for that first release, for that first spin, excuse me. But you guys know how much I revere John Coltrane. You guys know he's the GOAT for me. He's the Mike Jordan of jazz music. Yeah, the great John Coltrane, Love Supreme, live in Seattle. I've already heard so many wonderful things about it. Looking forward to spinning it. Next up, Return to Forever, featuring Chick Corea. Not an album I know that much about, to be completely honest with you. But it's Chick Corea. You know, great artist that we lost in 2020. I believe it was 2020. It was either 2020 or it was 2021. But recently enough, I've had some good luck acquiring his releases here lately. Great stuff. Next up, Groove Holmes, American Pie. Soulful, funky as hell type jazz stuff. Nice cheap heat, if you will. Next up, The Lasting Impression of Hugh Masekela. I have really gotten into Hugh Masekela a lot lately, especially a lot lately. I've always been a Hugh Masekela fan, but here recently, definitely even more so. Great stuff. Cool ass cover, in my opinion. I mean, it's understated, but if you really look at what's going on, it's pretty damn cool. Great stuff. Next up, Groove Holmes. Again, I'm in the Mood for Love. Great soul jazz once again. It's a promo copy, and it's on Flying Dutchman, which of course, anytime you can own anything on Flying Dutchman. Of course, Bob Teal, producer on Flying Dutchman, was of course instrumental in the early days of Impulse Records. Great stuff. Roy Ayers, Ubiquity, Vibrations, love anything Roy Ayers. A lot of this guys might have to deal with some glare. I apologize in advance. Great stuff on Polydor. Wonderful record. Next up, Love Walked In. George Shearing and the Montgomery Brothers on Jazzland Records. And of course, that's Wes and Buddy Montgomery. And of course, Monk Montgomery. So that's Wes on guitar, Buddy on vibes, Monk on bass. Walter Perkins is on the sticks, and George, of course, is on the keys. But it's a delightful release, in my opinion, on Jazzland Records. Big fan of the Jazzland labels. Spot out. So, one I'm pretty excited about, actually. Cheaper heat, but I'm excited about it. Next up, George Duke, Save the Country. Double-sided face of George there. Kind of like an explosion coming up. It's on Pickwick Records. Soulful, funky as hell kind of stuff once again. You know, some electric, you know, tinge and flair and everything going on with it, and just a really kick-ass, like DJ set type of jazz record. Big fan. Next up, Sophisticated Funk, Jack McDuff. Do not adjust your sets. The cover is exactly what you think it is. But soulful, funky as hell, like so many of the other ones I've already shown you. Kick-ass record on chess. Great stuff. Splat out. Again, one of the ones you're definitely going to hear in a jazz DJ's set. It's just got so much going for it. I'm just a big Jack McDuff fan anyway, to be completely honest with you. Next up, Hubert Law's Afro Classic on CTI. You guys have heard me advocate for CTI records on here before. I dig the label. For the most part, cheap heat. All the releases are killer, at least in my opinion. Hubert Law's on flute, Ron Carter on bass, Dave Friedman on vibes, Gene Bernaccini on guitar, Fred Waits on drums, percussion, Richie Pablo Landrum, Arto Morea, electric piano, Bob James, bassoon, Fred Austin Jr. Awesome gatefold, killer record. A lot of good stuff going on this one. Thrilled on it. Surprised I hadn't had this one before, actually. Next one up is one. All right, so it's been said on my channel before, I think. I'm sure. You guys, I'm getting old. My memory sucks. But I am not a fan of Christmas music at all. I've always looked at Christmas albums as money ploys. How many different versions of Silent Night does one need to hear? And every year you have a slew of artists just put out the same 10 to 12, oh my God, common Christmas standards. And put out an album and sell 1 million copies of it every winter. It happens every year. I do own a couple of Christmas albums that are jazz. I'm sure you're not shocked. But this one was one that had eluded me all the way up until now. But it's a great jazz record. I'll say that. This one, it doesn't have to be Christmas for you to enjoy it. It's the original soundtrack recording of the CBS television special, Charlie Brown Christmas Vince Guaraldi Trio. It is not OG, but that's fine. I think it's early 70s pressing on Fantasy. I'm not positive, to be completely honest with you. But after years and years and years, I got pitched one. Took a swing at it. Why not? Look forward to listening to this record right in here beside our Christmas tree in a couple months with my daughter, unwrapping some gifts. That's the goal. That and the Duke Pearson Classic Series Christmas record that is just being reissued. So those will be on the platter in the man cave this Christmas. Next up, getting into some OG shit here. And you guys know how much I love that. My boy, Trailer Park Pimp on Instagram. Gotta shout that out, obviously, as I love it so much. But my good friend, he's the kind of guy who likes yard sales, likes flea markets, likes digging through junk, as he said himself. Not my words, his. Found this bitch in a Goodwill, so probably paid $1.50 for it, but it is an OG stereo, The Avant-Garde, John Coltrane and Don Cherry. Now, my boy is a country music fan. He's digging through country music. He's looking for country records, which, thank God for him, he lives in the Carolinas, because them bitches is plentiful. So, no problems ever finding those, but you do not usually stumble upon OG jazz in fucking Goodwills in North and South Carolina, or any flea markets, or anything. Johnny Cash records from the 60s all day. But not John Coltrane and Don Cherry. The Avant-Garde, which again, he stumbled upon at some Goodwill in North Carolina. And when he did, he bought it immediately thinking about me, because he doesn't care about jazz. and sent it my way. And the only basically deal is as soon as I find like a country record that's got his name written all over it, I'll send it his way. And so, bet that. Thanks, my buddy. I really appreciate you. OG Blue Green Stereo. Thanks, man. Wow. Next up, bought a sealed reissue of this one at the Charlotte Record Fair that I attended with my boy Dylan from Noble Records, and you know, my boy David at B-Core 7, and you know, my boy John, and you know, all of us. My boy Josh at Take Me to Birch Instagram, and had gotten a sealed copy of this one. This reissue, come to find out later, it was a late 90s audiophile type deal. But I was just thrilled to have the music at the time. Well, here recently I got offered up an OG stereo quad. Could not turn it down. Black Jazz, Doug Carm, Adam's Apple. I love anything on Black Jazz. Oh, and by the way, promo copy, splat out. So, even more desirable as far as I'm concerned. Man, what a phenomenal album. Anything on Black Jazz Records, baby. Anything. And they are reissuing so much of their catalog right now, guys. If you see it, Tonto, jump on it. The reissues, by the way, are quality. Next up, one that a lot of you guys probably never heard of. Composer's Workshop Ensemble. It is absolute fire. But this Composer's Workshop Ensemble, credited to Warren Smith. This is a promo copy. Strata East. Strata East, I think if you look it up in Webster's Dictionary, it just means rare as fuck. Just kidding. Splat out, once again, you know, some ass wrote their, you know, initials or whatever on it. But I actually think it's a record station, radio station, excuse me, that did it. But because I believe those are call letters. But thrilled to have this buddy of mine just upgraded to a cleaner cover without the writing and everything on it, and decided to go for it. So I got this one, and man, this bitch is good. A lot of you guys aren't going to be familiar with it. Look it up. Composer's Workshop Ensemble. Warren Smith, Strata East. Damn. It's fire. Next one I'm getting ready to show you guys is not technically mine. And by not technically mine, meaning I had a copy when it was pitched to me, but wanted to snag it up from my boy Ed. So get ready to show it to you guys because it is a big deal. Alice Coltrane, Journey in Satchidananda. I think I said that right. I've never been able to say that right. It is major. Of course, it features the great Pharoah Sanders. Phenomenal album. My boy Ed hasn't even laid eyes on this in person. Ed, if you're watching, I know you watch a lot of my videos. If you're watching, trust me, buddy, you're going to be happy with it. Hell, you might even see it here before you see it in person. For that, I kind of apologize. But beautiful gatefold, as you guys can see. Man. Alice on harp and piano, Pharoah on soprano and saxophones, Tulsi on tambura, Vishnu Wood on out, Cecil McBee on bass, Charlie Hayden on bass, Rashid Ali on drums, and Majid Shabazz on bells and tambourine. Simply put, it's really just a killer record. And so happy to nab it from my boy Ed. You're going to be so thrilled with that, buddy. Down to the final two. Both of them big wants for me. The first one is just one that you just don't come across very often. And especially not in this kind of condition because this bitch is clean, as I'm getting ready to show you guys. It's Art Pepper Intensity. OG stereo on contemporary. Got the original enter and everything on it. Splat out, guys. You can eat off this bitch. It is clean. The lineup, just insane. Art Pepper on alto, Dolo Coker on piano, Jimmy Bond on bass, and Frank Butler on the sticks. Guys, it is, again, just an insanely clean copy. I knew I'd have a copy of this album someday. I kind of just never dreamed it'd be this clean. Shit's lit. It's a wonderful record. It's phenomenal music. I'm so happy to have it. Next up, the very last one, I kind of teased the arrival of this one in a video where I did its predecessor 2 or 3 videos ago. Let's call it 2 or 3 videos ago. But Thelonious Monk, Genius of Modern Music, Volume 2 on Blue Note. And this bitch, of course, is an OG mono. You guys know how I wagon will splat out. Absolutely phenomenal stuff, guys. Volume 1 and Volume 2 OGs, knocked them out in a couple weeks from each other. So, believe it or not, this one was actually harder to find. But let's just call it a month or 2 ago. I had Blue Label Black Bees or Blue Label White Bees. I can't remember of both. Ed, my boy, might have actually gotten both of them. I'm not positive. I can't remember. But yeah, guys, I re-up so often that sometimes I forget who it is that gets my stuff. But here lately, he gets most of it. But absolutely, positively, 110% thrilled to have both Volume 1 and Volume 2 OG monos sitting in this cave, in the man cave, in this collection. Stoked. Wonderful stuff. See you guys here soon. I got a grail in the mail, and by grail in the mail, meaning a holy shit type grail, like you might call for another one of those unboxing videos, like I did for the Imagine Awakening. But until then, and until next time, until next video, which will probably be that one. Keep dropping that needle, you guys.